Hey guys, so I wanted to play this and do like kind of a reaction video of this court TV video. It was really good actually. So they brought in somebody that is what did she call herself? A heathenry that basically practices this pagan religion and is very aware of everything. And she just brings up some really good points, interesting things that I didn't realize. Some of the things I kind of figured out by listening to Patrick Westphal's interviews and him describing stuff. It was, we talked about this, it was kind of obvious to him saying that it's not a white supremacist group, but yet as he's explaining what it is basically, you know what I'm saying? So it's like these people are hiding behind this religion in order to practice these racist beliefs and these racist things, and to like hide behind it as, this is a religion. And it's not racism, this is a religion. So basically, is what some of the stuff she's saying. But yeah, she says it way better than me, and says more than that. So let's watch this here.
So we've got to get to the bottom of all these Odinist Nordic tentacles in the case. Still with me, Anya Kane, Kevin Greenlee from the Murder Sheet Podcast, Bob Mott, a great attorney, joining us from Little Rock, Arkansas tonight. She's also been, of course, on the Murder Sheet Podcast. President and CEO of the Troth, the largest international organization for heathenry. That's Lauren Crow. Great to see you tonight. Lauren Crow, let me start with you. Heathenry was... One of the guards said, listen, I'm not an Odinist. I practice heathenry. Is there a difference? Are these things connected? From your perspective, what is an Odinist? And who are these people that we're talking about that are doing what they're alleged to be doing by the defense?
I think the easiest way to explain it is Odinism is a prison gang. It is a gang that disguises itself as a religion. Odinism, specifically in prisons, started by a woman named Elsa Christensen in the early 1980s in Florida. And their sole purpose for gathering as a religion was so that they could have cover to then talk about white supremacist political activity and other activity with impunity. So Odinism is, think of it as Odinism, if you think about it, it's the Westboro Baptist Church of Germanic and Norse paganism, which all of the things we're talking about right now fall under kind of this umbrella of Germanic and Norse paganism. Germanic in the sense of Germanic languages. So you think of Anglo-Saxon, Frankish, Aramaic, all of these tribes that existed pre-Christianity in Northern Europe. So then you have Asatru. Asatru and Odinism are not the same thing. Asatru in the United States, I'm speaking specifically in the United States because it is different in Europe, is a racist but not white supremacist gang racist form of paganism. So they believe that to be a Norse pagan, that should be allowed to people with Norse descent, so white people essentially. You have to be white enough. And
we heard that from what Patrick was saying in his interview. He's saying, no, it's not a racist group. But then when they were asking him, when his interviewer was saying, so do you have to be white to be a member? Yes. Can you date outside your race to be a member? No. So anybody that's dating outside the white race, they can't be a member. So how isn't this a racist group? And he says he could describe it as a nationalist group, but yet when he's describing it, it is racist, Now, I don't know if they're acting out against different races, like if they're violent towards them. I mean, we've heard different opinions on that. I mean, he would say no, but we've seen things, we've heard things, we've heard people saying he was lying about that. I guess his ex... I don't know if it's wife or girlfriend was saying that's a lie. He is a very violent person. So I don't know what to believe with all that.
You have heathenry. So heathenry is a blanket term. I practice what's called inclusive heathenry. And we believe anyone can be heathen. as we say, we're not so arrogant to think we know who the gods are going to call, right? We're not going to try to tell our gods what to do. And so the problem that I'm seeing in here is, first of all, Odinite is not a thing. I don't know where they come up with this. It's a mineral. It's found in like sedimentary areas. I have a geology background, so the first time I read that, I was very confused as to why they were talking about rocks.
Why they were talking about rocks. That is
but
funny.
Also, I think one important thing is to remember is that Odinism is present anywhere that there's racism, because it's not a religion. It's a gang that is in prisons using the guise of religion to be able to gather and do gang activity.
Gotcha. I mean, that's
very interesting.
And they sort of say that, but not exactly the way you're saying. So, Mike King, from your background, knowing what we know, limited obviously, but about the crime scene, about what happened here, the allegations of the defense, does this strike you as a ritualistic type of murder? What happened to Abby and Libby, and do you see it being in sync with these allegations of these rocks/Odinites who were practicing, I guess, outside of prison and meeting and doing things allegedly together?
Well, I really like that quick lesson that we just had, and I appreciate that because it helped me kind of put into perspective a couple of my thoughts, Vinny. And first and foremost, we have to recognize that groups like white supremacist groups for decades have used symbology to somehow get across messaging. We also know that criminals can go in and create a crime scene. They go from a very organized state to this very disorganized state where we see all kinds of bizarre things happening, but then go through a process of staging where they spend some time maybe sharing things that they saw. We saw it with Richard Ramirez. Remember that pentagram that he kept writing on the wall? He told me personally he was never a Satanist at first, but it became good business. So we got to keep in mind, is this an artifact of what was really going on? If this was truly a group of people who were going through ritual crime, I think we'd see evidence in other locations to support it, not just relationships or a video that came out that somebody, including Richard Allen, could have seen and recreated on the fly in the middle of a crime scene. We have to look at this thing in totality.
See, I wonder what video is he talking about? He's talking about that. Is he talking about that video of where they said Patrick was supposedly painting the F on the tree, which I don't think he was painting an F on a tree. So there's certain things about, the Frank's memorandum that I do believe, and then there's certain things that I see it differently. But no, I think they hit a lot of points that I do believe. And we saw, and that they could back up, and there's proof. But as far as Patrick painting an F on the tree, I do think he was just trying to find somewhere to put whatever he had. I do believe that he wasn't painting an F on the tree. Because for one thing, it wasn't 4 foot. They were trying to say it was the same height. It definitely wasn't 4 foot. He was up, like way up, and putting his hands up. That was over 6 feet tall. He's doing it. So not the same height. And I don't think he was painting anything on the tree. I think he was looking for a spot for that. But still, with that being said, it doesn't mean that overall the stuff that they said that they were wrong. So there's going to be some wrong things in it, but the bigger picture, I think they hit like some important things to look at the bigger picture of everything. I do think that they could be onto something. So, and also that doesn't mean that they don't practice that. It doesn't mean that for instance, that they don't paint blood on trees for different rituals. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in that instance, in that video, the memorandum points out with Patrick, I don't believe that's what he's doing in that particular part. But I do believe that they do that in some rituals, because we saw that one, here, let me bring that up, the one screenshot of the group that Brad was in, where the guy did put his blood on the tree. And he was like bragging about it still being there. So I do think it is a practice that some of them do, but I just don't think in that moment that that's what Patrick's doing for some reason. It doesn't appear that that's what he's doing. That's all. But let me read what this says. So it's this guy, Mike. It says, "Been a while, guys. I've not forgotten. I'm fighting my own battles lately, and the enemies are getting greater in number instead of fewer. But I look to God's... Sorry, lawnmower. It's the only sucky thing about trying to record in the daytime. I hate it. Oh, okay. So where we are... But I look to the gods, and they give me strength to keep fighting. Hail Odin, Thor, and Skadi. This is from my Thor bloat today. A cool thing about this picture is the Therizas rune on the tree was from my blood, but that's been almost 2 weeks ago, and the imprint remains. So this is a group actually that Brad was very active in around the time of the murders. You could go back, you'll see this is March 25th, 2017, but Brad posts like a ton of things with the Asatru, Odinism. He's just like posting a bunch in this group because he's a member of this group. So it's kind of interesting because we see he's very active in this group, and this guy that started this group is basically using his blood to paint runes on a tree. So it has to be a practice that people do. So it wasn't too, but a lot of people are coming out, oh my God, this is so absurd. This is so unheard of. They wouldn't do that. They don't paint, that. No, that's not what they do. Well, some subgroups do. And it's not as absurd as what people are saying. And like I said, there's always just because the normal group of people doesn't do something doesn't mean that there's not people in that group that do. People branch off, and they have, some people have more extreme practices, beliefs. You can't just say because, oh, well, I'm in the group and, that's not how they do, or this is not what they do, this is not how they practice. Just because that's not how you guys don't doesn't mean that's not how they don't. So, sorry guys, all the noise, Zeke's barking because my mom just got home with some food, so I'm gonna go eat some pizza. But to you guys won't even know that I left.
How prevalent is heathenry / this Norse paganism? Because, all these names are popping up, including, I think it was 2 or 3 of the prison guards that were there. So should I be shocked that there's that many in a particular area?
No. I am president of the largest organization. We have 2,500 members around the world. The church in Iceland, for instance, has over 1,000 members. I think more than that now. It's actually, paganism as a whole is one of the fastest growing religions in the world. And it especially draws people who are very into military, first responders. Those people tend to be very drawn into it because of the warrior aspects, the in Odin we trust thing, very common among, those patches are very common among military, first responders, police, who are heathen. It is a way for them to say, I'm putting my life in, to put it in Christian terms, I'm trusting God and putting my life in his hand as I go out and do my job today, is what those patches mean. It's the same as saying, Jesus bless me today.
Anya and Kevin, I want to give you the final word. We only have 15 seconds on Odinism, the overall. Put a button on this for us.
It'll be very interesting to see what the next set of public defenders does with this, if they continue the Odinist angle or if they drop it.
Yeah, that's going to be fascinating. Anya Kane, Kevin Greenlee, thank you so much. Murder Sheet Podcast. Bob Ma's going to stay around. Lauren Crow, appreciate your time. Mike Kane.
Okay, what do you guys think? It's very interesting, man. I would love to have her on and ask her some questions. She's very well informed on all this stuff, and yeah, I feel like we could learn a lot from her. This is really interesting to me. What did you guys think about it? I don't know when this will be uploaded. Hopefully it'll be uploaded tonight, soon. I think I'm pretty much done with it. Just got to edit this last clip. So I'm thinking about doing a live. I'm debating whether I want to do one on YouTube first, then go to Rumble. I just like being able to feel so relaxed on copyright things, not have to worry about what I'm playing. If we're talking and we're talking about a video, I could play it and show you guys what I'm talking about, and I don't have to worry about copyright issues. I love that. It just sucks that we have to worry so much on YouTube. But my point is I want to do a live, and I'm just debating how I want to go about it. Like, I want to do it on YouTube, but I would love to just, it's so much more fun not having to worry about not saying certain words because they'll get, not triggered, but they'll get, whatever the word is, I can't think of the word, but not have to worry about that. Say the words that you want. It's not like the words that I want to say in the true crime world are offensive, or you know what I'm saying? It goes along with what we're talking about. I'm not this like horrible channel that says these horrible words, it's usually educational, and it's because it's what we're discussing, but so I don't know, probably will upload this since I'm pretty much done. And then let me know what you guys want, how you want to do the live. I don't really have anything specific I want to talk about. We could do like an open panel. Let me know if you guys wanted to go over to Rumble and do maybe a open panel, or if you want to stick here on YouTube and we could do an open panel. If there's any like specific topics we could talk about, we could talk about this video. I don't know. I don't really have anything planned, but I wouldn't mind going live and hanging out with you guys, talking a little true crime. So let me know your thoughts. All right. Talk to you soon, hopefully.